Small tornadoes, winds greater than 75 miles per hour, small hail, and even flash flooding today. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is July 10th, 2025. We have a slight risk where a 2 out of 5 for severe weather in the central plains into the Midwest, and we have a little bit in the Northeast, and we have marginal risk from the northern plains, central plains, and Northeast and Southeast. Our main hazard today is we may see winds greater than 75 miles per hour in the central plains, and we have some risk to see winds greater than 60 miles per hour everywhere else. We also have a 15% chance to see small hail in the central plains and a little bit in the northern plains and the Northeast. And then we also may see a couple isolated tornadoes, mainly in the Midwest. The Weather Prediction Center has also issued a slight risk for flash flooding in the Midwest, Northeast, and Southeast. Some of these places could see rainfall up to 2 inches or more in the next 24 hours. For the central plains, it looks like storms are going to start initiating around places like Colorado around 19Z or 1 p.m. Mountain Time or 2 p.m. Central Time. And then it's going to travel eastward to the central plains by 21Z or 4 p.m. Central Time. For the Midwest, we're looking at something around 20Z or 3 p.m. Central Time. And then for the Northeast, we're looking at 19Z or 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then for the Southeast, things are going to start a little bit earlier at 17Z or 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking at 500 millibars or midway through the troposphere, starting with the central plains, they're kind of sandwiched in between a ridge and a trough. And what's happening is these isobars or the lines of constant pressure are spreading out a little bit. And what that means is when you have air aloft that spreads out, Earth wants to kind of fill in that space. And so it encourages air from the bottom to lift up, which encourages upward motion. And along with that, there is pretty good shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts, enhance and prolong those storms. Looking at the Midwest, we can see that there is a trough, and they even have better shear than what we see in the central plains. And what's important about this trough is generally in the exit region, you see the isobars and the winds kind of drift apart, which is what we explained earlier, and it's going to fill in that space and increase the upward motion. And the Northeast has a similar story, but they have a much broader and weaker trough, but it's still something that's substantial enough. They have pretty good wind shear, and the exit region is going to encourage more upward motion in those areas of concern. And then for the Southeast, they don't really have anything, and they especially don't really have any shear, so I wouldn't expect any storms that do develop over there to last that long. We take a look at the satellite imagery. There are some places that are going to benefit most from the sun, which is going to improve surface heating, which is going to improve instability. Something that I do want to point out that's really cool is if we look at Iowa right now, we can see that there's a little bit of rotation, and what that is a mesoscale convective vortex or MCV. Basically what happened is last night's big blob of storms sustained itself and became strong enough where it created its own circulation, thus creating its own like little low pressure system. And with the low pressure system, that means counterclockwise rotation, which means at the surface, winds are going to start converging, and when they converge, they can't go down to the ground, so they go up, which is going to promote the convection in that area. And that's why we have